It's my distinct pleasure to speak to you at this momentous event about our government's strategic vision, realizing self-reliance, commitments to reforms, and renewed partnerships. I take this opportunity to thank the Government of the United Kingdom for hosting this landmark conference and everyone for your important participation. Ladies and gentlemen, 2 years ago in Tokyo, we set out our long-term development vision for Afghanistan to reduce dependence on international assistance to levels consistent with other least developed nations by 2025, the end of what we call a transformation decade. Essential for this, we concurred with peace and stability consolidated in our country through the promotion of basic human rights, including economic rights. Today, we have gathered to examine our path to our joint vision for Afghanistan moving towards self-reliance and to recommit to that vision not only in letter but also in spirit and action. Thanks to your exceptionally generous support in the sacrifices of your and our sons and daughters, Afghanistan has come a long way on every front over the past 13 years. A country that was bankrupt, with all systems and infrastructure destroyed and state institutions either not existent or not functioning, today enjoys socioeconomic indicators that would have been unimaginable 13 years ago. Per capita income of close to $700 is 5 times higher. Access to basic public health care has gone up 6-fold from a mere 9% to close to 60%. School enrollment rose from under 1 million in no girls to about 10 million and 40% girls. Maternal mortality has been halved, and the life expectancy of the ordinary Afghan has increased from just 44 years to about 60 years of age. A vocal media and civil society provide the fora where a range of views are publicly debated. The role of women in society has grown, with many emerging as successful political, business, and civil society leaders and role models. And last but not least, Afghanistan today, despite lots of deficiencies, has functional institutions. Today, when we talk about our institutions, it's about the reforming rather than forming or building them from scratch. Ladies and gentlemen, while we have reasons to praise and be proud of our remarkable achievements of the past 13 years together, we must also acknowledge that our efforts have not been sustainable, and that unless we together change business as usual, Afghanistan moving towards self-reliance will remain no more than a vision. Let me illustrate some of the challenges. We are a nation still in the midst of a global war. Afghan security forces are taking full charge of security, but security expenditures are an increasing burden on the government's finances and threaten fiscal sustainability. 35 years of war have produced huge social and economic distortions to our country. For example, Kabul was a city designed for 400,000 people. Today we have nearly 5 million inhabitants who, for one reason or another, now live in the city. Large numbers of people are traumatized by violence and have become refugees, either inside the country or in our immediate neighborhood. These are both human and social tragedies that will not vanish when the international security forces go home. Corruption has corroded the social fabric of the society and has undermined people's trust in the government and state institutions. We have set up the foundations for democracy, but the institutions remain unable to deliver inclusive, timely, credible, and financially sustainable elections. Ladies and gentlemen, despite achievements, as I mentioned earlier, the past 13 years of engagement does not set an entirely good model for the future engagement in Afghanistan. We must acknowledge our own responsibility for not having used aid as well as we could for the greater benefit of our people. It's not our job here to assign blame for what has been a terribly damaging conflict for all of us, but we do accept responsibility for what's ours, and we will have to fix that. Ladies and gentlemen, the new government acknowledges the urgency of the challenges that it faces and is determined to address them. Our paper, Realizing Self-Reliance, Commitments to Reform in Renewed Partnership, presents the vision of the new Afghan government. I will not repeat the details of its messages here. Instead, I will briefly summarize the main principles that underline the detailed reform program that will be turned into the benchmarks in sequence program of actions that we will be bringing to the senior officials meeting in mid-2015. First, the new government of national unity is committed to credibility and will do what it says. Second, the reform program that we have presented is but the first step of something that His Excellency the President, the rest of the government, and the Afghan people believe in wholeheartedly. The leadership of the government is determined to make sure that people again believe that the government is here to serve the people and not mismanage or misuse their resources. Third, criminality permeates our institutions. It's fueled by narcotics, smuggling, extortion, and violence. As with corruption, winning this fight will be neither easy nor quick, but the government is committed to fighting this war that lies within us. Fourth, we are committed to our people, and that means all of our people, whether they be women and girls, youth, rural population, or people who are simply poor and living on the edge of survival. Afghanistan will become a country governed by laws and by the provision of justice. Fifth, we believe that managing our economy is the precondition to healing the country. We believe that we have the human resources to make Afghanistan whole again. The government will continue to invest in education and health to build the human capital that self-reliance demands. We intend to balance our budget and learn to live within our means. We will ensure that rights are respected and that our rich natural resources are husbanded for our children and then for their children. Ladies and gentlemen, the government has set itself an audacious development and reform agenda. It cannot deliver upon its commitments without the help and assistance of its regional and international partners. Our vision for Afghanistan is to regain its historic place as a regional roundabout that connects South Asia, Central Asia, the Far East, Middle East, and Europe. We believe that peace will come not just to Afghanistan, but to our vibrant, dynamic, and often turbulent region, as investment across borders provides each and every one of us in the region with the incentive to pursue peace instead of war. Ladies and gentlemen, over the coming years, Afghanistan and its regional and international partners will be making choices that will affect an entire region and whole generations of people. Afghanistan's future rests in our hands. We hope that 5 years from now, when we reconvene, we Afghans and you, our international supporters and partners, will look back to this day in London and reminisce on how the path to a successful Afghanistan began with a gathering of friends and allies who collectively found the courage and the vision to change the course of history. In closing, I'd like to thank all of our international partners for the firm and enthusiastic support. I thank you for believing in the potential of Afghanistan and that it once again looks forward to a promising future. Thank you.